Justin and Hailey Bieber's long-awaited Vogue cover is officially out, and oh my god, the tea Justin and Hailey supplied us with.
You know I'm ready. Plus, Nicki Minaj reignites the feud with Cardi by releasing her freestyle of Bust Down Barbiana, and I am so excited.
Of course you are. And Ariana Grande finally breaks her silence on Pete and Kate Beckinsale dating, and random, but Zac Efron just started following Selena Gomez on Instagram, and we're gonna talk about it. This is what we are sipping and spilling today, so let's get into Hollyscoop's Daily Rewind. How's it going, guys? Welcome to Hollyscoop's Daily Rewind. I'm Madison Hill.
And I'm Courtney Revolution.
Courtney, we have a lot of tea to discuss here.
I'm ready to sit.
More so than normal, I feel like. Okay, first and foremost, let's talk about Justin and Hailey's Vogue cover. So this is a huge deal. It's their first joint interview and cover shoot since, you know, the big marital bliss, the big courthouse, I guess it wasn't big.
The wedding moment.
But yeah, the courthouse wedding, yes. And they basically opened up about pretty much everything. I mean, they went there, everywhere, in between. They talked about sex, marriage, drugs, trust issues. We kind of have a lot to like sift through.
Yes,
so we're just gonna take it one by one. Starting off with marriage, Hailey opened up right out the gate and said, quote, "Marriage is very hard. That is the sentence you should lead with. It's really effing hard."
I've never heard that marriage was hard ever in my life. Hailey Bieber, this is brand new information to me, but you know what? Thank you for just reiterating, you know?
I guess I didn't expect her to be so blunt and honest and say it's so difficult being, at this point, this interview took place in December. So I'm like, they were only married for a very short amount of time when they did this interview, and she was already saying like, first off, right off the bat, let people know that this marriage is difficult. And I'm like, should it be difficult though?
What happened to the honeymoon stage?
Yeah, I know they say the first year is the hardest, but I'm like, Hailey, you guys didn't even have, you had like 3 months of dating.
The first 5 seconds were very
the hardest.
Very difficult.
And then what's interesting is Justin went on to kind of open up, and he described himself as being an emotionally unstable person and how he's struggling to find peace. He was very open about how he inherited his mom's depression and his father's anger issues. And he definitely has a lot of problems with trust. He said, "I've made some bad decisions personally and in relationships. Those mistakes have affected my confidence and my judgment. It's been difficult for me to even trust Hailey."
Now for me, something that I really enjoyed about the article was the fact that Justin sort of brought to the table that he's very emotional and Hailey is very logical.
Right.
So the number one thing that I took away from the article was the fact that they are a balanced couple.
Yes,
You didn't feel that way?
I know, I do feel that way. I do feel that way. But for me, I find it difficult to believe that you can build a marriage on trust issues. Like him saying in an interview, I struggle to trust Hailey. I'm like, how can you be in a marriage where you already have that foundation of, it's not sure? And so that's where I'm struggling with this. I'm like, yes, they seem cute. Yes, okay, he kept calling her his boo during the interview. That's really sweet. But at the end of the day, I just think it's a lot of pressure on a young couple, especially, to have a marriage built on trust issues, because that brings up the whole Selena Gomez thing. Yesterday we talked about how there were divorce rumors, and then hearing this, when I saw this Vogue cover, I was like, oh great, it's gonna totally dispel the divorce. It's not gonna happen. And then I read it and I was like, wait, I still could totally see it happening. I mean, if they're having all these issues already, I mean, a divorce doesn't seem that far out of the question.
See, I kind of felt that they would work on things. I thought that the interview was very honest, and I felt like
very honest.
Although the marriage is built on trust issues, it doesn't mean that you can't work past them.
Right.
Because if they just would have given up, Madison, we would be here tagging and dragging them by their little ponytails across this table.
And I would be like, why aren't you calling Selena Gomez? All that stuff. I do agree. They were very open. They were very honest. And they did say, they're committed to making sure like this relationship grows and it becomes strong and it kind of lives past their growing up. I don't know. I'm still a little skeptical.
You're a little shaky?
I'm a little shaky. Just like Justin's trust, I'm a little shaky. Justin also opened up about his past drug abuse, which I thought was pretty brave. And we haven't really heard it in his words. A while back, Scooter Braun kind of came forward and talked in a podcast and said, like, there was a time when I wasn't sure if Justin was gonna live or die, all this stuff, which is
Madison.
really, really scary. But now Justin talked about it. He said, he kind of had an addiction to Xanax, and there was a time when his security would like come in and check his pulse, and like they weren't sure. So that's pretty interesting. Hailey admitted that like he'll drink periodically, but absolutely no drugs. And I have to hand it to Justin here. He basically kind of weaned himself off everything and did it without going to like a full-on rehab
He's separated
facility.
himself. Yeah. He went and he interned and he got himself together with the Lord. And you know what? I thought that was very powerful to include that in such a huge platform like Vogue.
Right.
I hated reading the fact that he was addicted to sex and numbing it with the Xanax.
I know.
It's such a common thing that you hear with young celebrities, but you know what? It sounds like he's in a better place because that was such a dark place in the past.
I have to admit, I was pretty surprised to hear him bring up the topic of sex because I feel like we have such this like view that they're so religious that we're like, oh my God, are they gonna say? And he did say, he said he had a quote, legitimate problem with sex, exactly like what you're talking about, and how he kind of wanted to take the time to like rediscover sex and how like God sees it and how that aligns with his religious beliefs, and that he was celibate for a year prior to his marriage with Hailey. And then once they kind of saw each other, he was like, oh, you know, okay.
He said, hold on.
He said, God rewards you for good behavior, and Hailey popped up into his life.
They sprinted to the courthouse.
And I'm glad they actually addressed that because I've been saying that from day one. You know, we've heard that they weren't having sex before. They got married, and I was like, okay, you guys, they went to the courthouse because they wanted to do the deed. And everyone's like, oh my God, that's a lot. And I'm like, trust me, I come from the Midwest. I know people who do these things.
True.
And they basically admitted it. So I felt a little personal validation when they said
So let me ask you this, Madison, before we move on. Will they make it to the altar or will they not make it to the altar?
I don't know. I never want to put like bad relationship karma out there because I feel like I talk so much that eventually that's going to come back and bite me in the tush. But I don't know. I'll be interested to see. I think if they postpone the wedding again, I think I still got to stay on the track of like a divorce is happening. Again, like we said, we talked about this yesterday. This interview was from December. So I don't know. I don't think the divorce is off the table. I hate to say it, but
I don't want them to divorce. I want them to stay together.
I don't either. Obviously, I don't want any couple to go through that, but I don't know.
It is.
I think the potential's there.
Moving right along, we have Nicki Minaj and Cardi B news.
I know.
Put your boxing gloves on.
Why do you think I wore my hoops today?
Oh.
Okay. Oh, let me just. Okay. Let's get on this. Let's go. Let's go. No, I'm just kidding.
No, but Cardi B is set to appear on Blueface's Thotiana remix, which he teased on Instagram last month. But it seems Nicki Minaj might have beat the hip hop entertainer to the punch. Nicki released her own Bust Down Barbiana freestyle, which she uploaded to Audio Mac. And now Blueface's management is like, I don't know if we like this because they still have that Cardi B remix coming.
They wanted all the attention on them, and Nicki just went in and swooped it up. Now, like I've said, you know, I'm a Cardi girl, Bardi gang through and through. But I also love pettiness.
Yeah.
And I've got to hand it to Nicki here. If that was her motive, that's how everyone's perceiving it, and I'm like, girl, I gotta respect you for it because that was pretty impressive.
Let me say this. This is hip hop. There was a time, Madison, where you could go on MySpace and everyone put out a freestyle.
Right.
When Soulja Boy was cranking that back in the day, everyone was cranking that. So you know what? If Blueface wants to Thotiana all over my Spotify and Apple Music, let Nicki Minaj bust down Barbie and get it in. I love it.
That's what I feel like now it kind of gives them something more to work with. So now they could even go back to the drawing board and like make Thotiana even better and come back and even fire at Nicki. Well, yeah, I'm kind of hoping that happens, to be honest.
I think that as soon as Nicki dropped her freestyle, I think Cardi and all of her squad of writers went back to the drawing board. I think they had to go back to the cauldron and cook something up because Nicki just goes in the booth and just magic happens. Sometimes you got to put your recipes together, your herbs and spices.
Well, then that team of writers better get going because we need something quick.
Because Nicki is coming.
Even
and she's
though
on fire.
I still stand that Cardi's probably on that team. Okay.
I ain't seen it. We've seen Nicki in the booth.
Oh, okay. But I don't know. I feel like I did not realize there was going to be so much drama from this.
Yes.
But Twitter was going off on both sides.
Nicki beat us to the punch.
The Bardi gang, everyone was just like losing their minds.
And I lived for it.
I know you did. As soon as I saw us, I was like, oh God, Courtney and I.
It already has 1 million streams. Are we interested in hearing what Cardi has to say?
Obviously, I'm interested in what Cardi has to say. Like I said, I want her to kind of defend herself. I think now here's her time. Cardi, even take the time to write something herself. I think she needs to address all of this that everyone talks on her.
Well, Madison,
and Thotiana.
We gonna see.
I'm ready. I'm ready, like I said. Okay, last but not least, let's talk about Ariana Grande. Actually, we're also going to talk about Selena and Zac Efron too. Just keep holding on for that.
Hold on.
But first, let's talk about Ari. She is finally speaking out on Pete Davidson getting together with Kate Beckinsale. You guys know the story. They started canoodling at the Golden Globes. They were holding hands this past weekend.
Having a little cougar moment.
They're a thing. I still can't quite wrap my head around Kate Beckinsale wanting Pete Davidson, but she's proven time and time again that's the truth.
Love is love.
Yeah, exactly. So TMZ caught Ariana out last night, and they kept trying to ask her about the Grammys. She was like not having it. And then they did ask her what she thinks about Pete Davidson and Kate Beckinsale, and she goes, "Oh, cute, so cute." So I
love it.
I thought it was a little sarcastic, but I loved it.
Listen, if Ariana would have said anything other,
that's true,
we would have been sitting here with the pitchfork right in between us, okay? We love a supportive sister, even if it's not real.
Honestly, even if she would have said something like rude to Pete Davidson, I probably still would have been sitting here like, you go girl, you deserve it. We would have been still
screaming, thank you next.
Exactly.
Oh, Lord.
But I'm glad that she did say something, because in the video, she's kind of like walking into the door and she's like, they're cute. So I'm glad she didn't just ignore it, because then I feel like if she was silent, it could have been totally misconstrued.
We would have been speculating.
Totally misconstrued. Okay. Last but not least, I do want to talk about this Selena Zac Efron situation. So fans noticed today that Zac Efron started following single Selena Gomez kind of out of nowhere. She hasn't returned the favor. She hasn't hit that follow-up back yet. But what does this mean? Is he into her? Is he going to slide into the DMs? What's happening?
Has Vanessa Hudgens just gotten replaced for High School Musical 4 and they needed another Disney starlet to step up to the plate?
Yes, exactly. First of all, I would be so for that situation. I would be so
I'm here for it.
I think Zac Efron is such a snack in pretty much any
He's
look,
a meal,
role.
Madison. It's meal time.
Except maybe like the blonde hair that is rocking right now. I have said I'm not quite into that, but I would be so for a Zac and Selena situation.
Me too, to be honest. I think they would be a cute couple. They kind of come from similar backgrounds. I would be here for it.
I think that would be the perfect revenge relationship that Selena needs.
Not a revenge.
I want it. I want the drama. All right, you guys, let us know what you think about all of this tea we discussed today. What do you think about Justin and Hailey's Vogue cover shoot?
What do you think about Nicki Minaj beating Cardi B to the punch with her Bust Down Barbiana freestyle?
And what do you think about Ariana giving Pete and Kate her stamp of approval? And finally, what do you guys think about Zac Efron following Selena Gomez on Instagram? What does it mean? High School Musical 4 or a new couple? I don't know. Talk it out. Yeah. Talk it out down there in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you guys here next time on Hollyscoop's Daily Rewind. Bye guys.